This conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Marion County Commission, January 4th, 9 a.m. Public comments. Hearing none. Seeing no mics unmuted. Close public comments. All right. So Deidre appears to be on, so I'll go ahead and take it to the COVID update first.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
As of 7:30 this morning, we had 483 confirmed cases, 230 probable, 61 active, 5 hospitalizations, and 6 vital statistic verified deaths. Marion County remains in the red and has been in the red since November 1st for the 14-day positivity rate. And those dates are through December 26th. And Marion County is at 14.4%, 64 positives out of 444 total tests. After today, we will have given out all our COVID vaccine. It was given to EMS, who requested it, and various healthcare providers within the county. The next shipment that we receive is expected to be used for the individuals that we vaccinated in this first group in order to complete their vaccinations. Long-term care facilities that signed agreements with national pharmacies should be getting their first vaccinations sometime this month. While vaccine allocations currently are limited, Kansas is using a 5-phase approach. Currently, we are in phase 1, which includes healthcare associated workers, long-term care facility residents and staff, and EMS. Kansas started with high-risk workers in COVID units and ICUs, and now able to go out more broadly, but still for healthcare associated workers. Phase 1 is anticipated to last through the month of January and continue in this manner for coordinated efforts across the state. KDHE is reviewing data for the best decision making, and the next phase groups have not been announced. KDHE, like I mentioned before, speaks of 5 phases of rolling out the vaccine, whereas CDC has different phases listed, phase 1A, B, and C. But as mentioned earlier, at this time, KDHE is just focusing on healthcare providers, and they are wanting health departments that have finished their healthcare providers in their county, if they have vaccine left over, to transfer to other counties, because there are some counties that have not completed healthcare providers. But we will have, after today, we're going to be giving a group of vaccinations, so we'll be finished with all of our allocation today. I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, do you want me to continue to bring updates virtually, or do you want me to send these numbers to Tina? Keeping in mind that we will continue with press releases on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those usually come out around 4 p.m. So what are your thoughts about continuing with the updates?
We get the dashboard 3 times a week.
Yeah, the only thing that
that we're not getting from the dashboard is the vaccine updates.
Yeah, maybe if you have a, Deidre, if you have a vaccine update, then maybe,
Just get
Okay.
to Tina
Yeah.
or
Deidre, how many people have you put a needle in their arm in Marion County?
We've actually vaccinated 60 so far, and we have another group today.
So you haven't even got started yet.
so 60 with the first dose.
Yeah, by the time we're done, we'll have vaccinated 70 with their first dose.
Okay. Nobody with the second yet.
And that includes EMS, other healthcare. We have done some staff at long-term cares who hadn't signed up, for the national pharmacy, and they're working with, I know one is working with a local pharmacy to do their residents. We have reached out to the dentists, pharmacies, and other healthcare workers within the county.
Peter, do you know, what you've done? Is there anybody else doing anything in the county? I mean,
I know that the Hillsborough Hospital actually got vaccine before we did, so they had started the process. St. Luke, I know we helped them out a little bit because initially they hadn't received doses, but I got word they have received some doses, so I imagine they'll start. We helped them out vaccinating some of their staff, but they'll be able to complete that. And hopefully, I need to talk with them today, but hopefully if we have EMS who did not originally sign up, if they decide they want the vaccine, they can maybe get it through St. Luke's, I'm hoping.
okay. This is a two-part question. A person thinks they have COVID, so they run to Wichita Saturday, and they get tested, and it comes back positive. Who does that affect on the records when they do something like that? Does that affect Sedgwick County's records, or does it affect Marion County's records?
It depends where the individual resides. If they reside in Marion County, it will eventually come back to us. Now, there are so many different organizations who are doing testing. Sometimes those reports get sent to the county that they're tested in.
Okay.
And so if they get sent to a larger county, we may not see that case till they're basically out of isolation.
Okay.
It may not cross our records till then.
Okay, thank you. That sort of clears that one up. The second part of this is what I hear on the national news that Kansas is one of the lowest or last states to get the.
Oh, I think we're ranked the lowest.
Oh, ranked the lowest to get it. Okay.
Well, as far as
Distribution. I just wondered what that means. I mean, how? I didn't know there was a ranking system for us, and maybe there is. There must be. But is there? I just don't understand. Can you help me out? Is that what about?
I cannot really speak for KDHE. However, I do know that the health departments are around Kansas are kind of frustrated as we are lacking in guidance of these phases.
And that's sort of what I heard on the TV. I mean, that's what it sounds on TV. There's some frustration out there that the states are being expected to be the leaders, and the states looking back for the national to lead us through this.
I thought that was a good article you sent us from Saline County, Deidre. Kind of sums up the issues and the frustration.
I couldn't get mine to open. So.
And that's,
initially
and
said
we have, are dealing with a lot of that frustration because CDC has outlined, like I mentioned before, they have like 1A, 1B, 1C, and KDHE keeps telling us we're doing 5 phases, but we have no idea what 2, 3, 4, and 5 are. They just keep telling us do healthcare workers, do healthcare workers. So, and if now, of course, if we have 9 healthcare workers, we can, and we don't want to waste 1 dose, we can scoot someone in that slot. However, they want other counties to send vaccine, because I'm not sure where Sedgwick County sits, but they probably didn't, some of those larger counties didn't get as many doses as what they need to do all healthcare workers. So.
Well, and then in regards to your question about.
So there is some frustration at the local level.
Okay.
Well, Deidre, who supersedes? Does KDHE supersede CDC?
Well, when CDC allocated the vaccine, states can determine their own phases.
First they were saying it was a computer glitch. That was,
Of course.
that we didn't have enough doses put out. And now it sounds like we really don't have enough doses put out.
Deidre, this is Dave. I've got a question. So you're basically saying nobody knows how many doses that Marion County has because it's going to 3 or 4 different entities and there's nobody in charge
Well,
of Marion County.
I know how many doses they have, but I can't release that. They're suggesting that for security that we not release those numbers. I mean, if you want to get a hold of the organizations and ask them, maybe they will release those numbers. But at this point, I'm not really comfortable releasing those numbers.
Well, just if they've already administered those doses, I don't know what the security,
Right, and that's why
is on that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that, but we've had people, and I know other counties, we haven't had so many, a lot of angry people. We have a lot of people questioning why they can't get it. But I know some counties, people are not really very nice.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm trying not to cause any security problems. So I mean, just the amount of doses administered is what I'm really after.
Needles and orange.
Yeah, how many have been used up? That way, we kind of have an idea of how far along this process we are.
Yeah, the other thing, your question about whether you come back here, Deidre, or not every week, you're sort of our lifeline to knowing what's going on. Like Ken said, we are getting good reports there. But anything that's happening that you think we should know, that we can help publicize about this, why, I think we should know. Don't have to be here every week. But, and if there's any problems, we'd like to be able to help you too. So we know that this is not a 1, 2, 3 thing that we know what to do either.
Not a short-term thing either. It's
No.
not gonna last long.
No. So thank you for whatever, and I'll go along with the rest of the commission, whatever they feel like you said there. You know, we do see your reports, updates and stuff like that, but if there's anything new, we'd sure like to hear from you.
Yeah, and I will. I mean, we haven't got word when our next doses are going to be shipped, but we're hoping, because the first group that we vaccinated, they're due for their second one in about a week, 2.5 weeks. So we're hoping to have it by then.
And again, I'm going to ask this: 90 days is still a sort of a given number that it's sort of valid for. I mean, not that we're relying on 90 days, but it's not good for a year or 2 years.
Right. Right now, they're thinking that the immunization, or if you've had the disease, that you would be immune for 90 days. Now, I will tell you that CDC, once you get your immunization, they have a tracker that you can sign up for, and they will monitor you for, I think it's about a week from when you had the vaccine to see if you had any problems with it. Then they want to get in touch with you through a text if you allow it, in 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And my thoughts on that are they want to see, have you come down with COVID, you know, in that time frame, and then they might have a better idea. They're thinking that the vaccine will provide immunity for longer than 3 months, but the studies have not been out there long enough to confirm that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, as far as going forward, Deidre, I think if we just knew how many doses are administered first round, second round,
Okay.
that's probably all we need. We can get the dashboard
Weekly
information.
update.
Okay.
So,
Thanks for your
Yes, I will
dedication, Deidre, we
definitely,
appreciate
if
it.
something new comes up.
what was that? What was that, Deidre?
If something new comes up, I'll definitely get on the schedule.
Okay,
Sounds good.
very good. Thank you. Thanks, like
Thank
Kent
you.
said. Kent said, thanks for your dedication. I think we'll all echo that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, now go on to administrative business.
Okay, there was just some information in your packet that Jonah had asked me to include. And I have the minutes of December 31st.
I'd make a motion to approve the 31st if nobody has any problem.
Second.
Second.
I'll let Matt. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Diane?
Aye.
Okay. So,
That's all right, thank you.
so we're.
So on the, Bryce had brought up the notice to proceed for Nelson Falls for the emergency watershed protection projects that we're gonna be doing. And then also the
Contract.
agreement or the contract. And so that top page there, Joan, is just the extra signature page so that we can send a full set to Nelson Falls. So,
For the, what was it, 350? Yeah.
it's on the front.
350th and Lion Creek, and also 130th and Cottonwood River, Stream Bay.
What are you looking for?
Looking for a permission for the chairman to sign the contract.
I'd make that motion for the chairman to sign the contract on Stream Bank. We've already okayed it.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Just double checking.
You did put yellow sticky notes on
Yeah.
Did, I bought some special for Joan.
it.
I know.
so that's why I asked.
Yeah. They're handy.
Yeah.
And you had requested information on cost for cents per hour raises, and so what you basically have those numbers in front of you. And Diane, I emailed that to you this morning. So if you look, there's a column that says increase with 10 cents, and if you go all the way to the bottom, that 25,998 is an approximation. And so then I did just multiply that, as Jonah asked, for 20, 30, 40, 50, and you can see those numbers going down. So
Thank you, Tina.
you're welcome.
Do we need to add that discussion onto our agenda? I don't see it on there.
Oh, it's just informative right now. If we need to add it, do we want to have a discussion on it?
Well, we're in the next year.
Yeah.
Time for pay raises.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be, I mean, I'm not saying it has to be today, but it has to be this month.
No, we can add it.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem adding it.
Yeah.
Nobody does. No objections to it. Okay. And we'll just add it right before the public comments, commission comments. Is that okay? All right.
Okay, I have no other admin.
Okay. All right, moving on. Get
Can I
Bryce.
add anything more to the agenda?
Yeah.
Depends on, if Brad makes it here, I'd like to have a short executive meeting, attorney-client privilege contract negotiation. If he doesn't, we'll pass.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with an exec with Brad?
No.
Attorney Klein? Okay. We'll add it. Any other? Okay. Bryce?
Morning.
Morning.
Well, I heard you talking about how happy you are for the new year. Our new year basically was plowing snow. So sent guys out on Friday, plowing the roads, had guys out again Saturday morning, especially the blade men. Farther south and east you went, it was quite a mess in places. So I think we got everything taken care of. We're doing a little bit of finishing up work today, but I think the roads are in pretty good shape. Down in the southeast part there's places we probably had 6-8 inches of snow in places, especially where the trees were and everything, so it was kind of a mess. So let's see, I'm going to send out the concrete crushing bids today to, I think I have 10 people lined up. I'm going to start rock haul again up to Lincolnville to stockpile some Waverly rock there. As you just got the notice to proceed and stuff like that for the NRCS projects, we're going to start those next week, assuming that all the paperwork gets through. Been kind of interesting trying to work through all the paperwork to keep everybody happy with the government. So we've got some kind of frustrating again. We've got 2 motor graders in the shop that need radiator fixes or whatever else, and we've got a Volvo going to Van Keppel today because the on-site technician couldn't figure out what it was. It sounds like a Johnny Pop motor, so it doesn't sound real positive when it comes to that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I've got one of the quotes coming in for the gas pumps to redo up our shop. Still, I made a call again to get the other one that I talked to, so we'll get that information, get back to you. Lately, had a lot of people off in the last 2 weeks, so I haven't got much accomplished, but I'm very optimistic, and the fact is with all the moisture we had and everything else, that as far as I know, we haven't received any calls yet this morning or over the weekend for bad roads. So
You shouldn't have brought it up.
well, I know, that's part of the business, but like I said, we're typically, when it gets this bad, that we are kind of doing some things maybe to hold off hauling rock the next day or two, just to make sure if we can let them dry up as much as we can, we won't tear them up. But like I said, I think we've come a long way there. So other than that, it doesn't really have too much going on. If you guys have anything,
Are you getting backhauls on the way really
Yep.
wrong?
yeah, they're hauling grain and stuff over east, and that come back. So
In relationship to that, I hear you saying up north, where's the stockpile over west, where's the stockpile out south, where's the stockpile further north?
what we're looking at is we're getting the stockpile down south would be out of Harshman's. They're coming back with their trucks going into there. They're keeping that material for us. We're going to stockpile at Lincolnville. We're going to stockpile at Durham, and I think we're going to go in and rework rock at the Poor Farm area that we have over there. We're going to go and rework that, recompact that, because we're also going to need it for storage of materials for Nighthawk and those projects over there. With all that
You mean
chips.
that 10 acres the county owns over there?
Yes.
There isn't even a spot to put rock.
There is now.
It is.
Yeah.
Put some
Doing it.
trees out?
Oh, we took out a whole bunch of trees. In fact, those are supposed to be being
And
burned
then we
today.
talked about selling that.
Right. But like I said, it's an area we can use over there. We've got a little storage area there at 140th, 120th and Nighthawk. That's not big enough to really store anything. We have our chip seal material stored down at Peabody right now too, so that doesn't leave us much. But we don't really have a dedicated spot other than the Peabody shop down south, so.
Okay, this is not for you, Bryce, because this commission sort of controls your rock budget and tells you what to do with that. You just heard he's wanting to start. We're coming out of a year of 500,000 over.
Mhm.
So my question to the commission is, what kind of limits we're gonna do? We're gonna spend so much a month? How are we gonna maintain this? I mean, Bryce, I don't wanna hold you back, but yeah.
No. Honestly, I can answer that question. We've had several discussions right this morning. All this rock coming in, I'm gonna basically put a budget amount of $20 a ton on it. That's the price of material of the rock and the haul to get back in. So we have an idea of what that is. We're gonna keep very good track of that. We're not gonna be in that condition. So I can tell you right now, I wanna be at the forefront of that right off the bat.
Is that
So-
$20 unloaded in Marion County?
Yes.
At the site?
At the site,
Okay.
yep. So all we would have would be the cost of picking it back up and taking it wherever we're going. So, yes, we're definitely gonna watch that.
So once you get the stockpiles in place, we would stop
Yep,
hauling in the hard rock
yep,
until we see where we're at,
yes.
before we bite off another big
Yeah.
chunk.
Because, this time of year, they're able to do that for us, but it's kind of been a mild winter so far as far as salt too, so they haven't had a lot there too. But I'm not gonna, maybe a couple thousand tons in each one of them for now, until we get, if we need more down the road, then that's what we look at. But I'm not gonna,
Can you get in and out of that Poor Farm when the roads are bad?
we're gonna have to do some work on that, yep. But like I said, we got quite a bit of material that's gonna have to come in for that Nighthawk and 330th job, so. But, no, I'm all over it, and I appreciate the concern too, but it was just, like I said, it's, we definitely made an impact because we haven't had near the calls we do, but at like you said, at that cost, so, but.
The reason why I said that, Bryce, is all five of us sitting here will hear from the people in all five corners. And I'd like to hear them all say, hey, we're seeing some of the hard rock.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear two people from down south and nobody from up north or vice versa.
Sure. Our plan right now is to, we've been pushing, and when we do the rebuilds, we put that hardened rock back on there. Tends to last longer, even better there. So, as we talked before, I don't really want to use a lot of the hard rock on roads that aren't going to accept it real well, need a little extra work or whatever else. So, we're definitely.
I wouldn't put it on any road that didn't have a base and ditches.
Well, that's, like I said, it's expensive rock, and we can still use the other rock and get by, but as you know, we're continuing to work on those too, so.
Is $20 a good budgetary number?
It's running about 8 something a ton to buy it, and most of it is like the $10 to $12 a ton, so it's very, very good on budget as far as that
I was
goes.
thinking somewhere around the 22 range, so that's why.
Yeah,
Our
you know,
transportation is our enemy.
Yeah,
That's
and-
where we're at.
yeah, and ultimately it comes down to even at 20, 22, whatever else it is, that still gives us a very good idea of where we are. I mean, I could figure out to 25 too.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it shouldn't be more realistic on where the hauls came in last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, the hauls come in last year simply because we had so many people hauling and trying to get the material out there as fast as we can, so.
Okay.
But, yep, definitely watch that.
And again, I'd like to stress, if we got 6 contractors in Marion County, they all get a bid.
Yep,
If they don't want to bid, that's their problem.
yep.
But at least,
Definitely gonna use locals.
at least we've contacted them and we've given them a chance and we go from there.
Yep, yep. So, anything else?
Where was the pile gonna be? Over towards Lehigh and Gossel?
That's what we're looking at, is trying to find a place farther west and south from there. We've actually looked at trying to make one. We can stockpile a little bit at Gossel, there at the sewer ponds. It's kind of tough getting in and out there, but we've talked to them. We can go in and do that. We'll probably have to put in a culvert kind of restricts where we're going there, but we've actually piled some down there by the church on 90th and Chisholm, but that was just a temporary thing. So yeah, we're kind of looking for someplace down that will be farther south. Now, the other thing about it is that the farther south and west you go, we have more and more sand down there because it's a lot closer haul to get the sand down there.
Would it be
too.
worthwhile to contact the city or something and see if they have a spot?
City of,
Like the city of Gospel?
we already have a place in
Okay.
Gossel.
Okay.
But like I said, it's not a real big spot. We would kind of like to set up if you want to say more of a permanent location somewhere over there to,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, we're constantly looking for places over there just to get the material closer.
And what's that, over by Lehigh? Is there a spot there? No, that's KDOT.
KDOT.
KDOT's mixing strip, and they will not let us stockpile there because they use that quite a bit.
On the north side of the highway, there's that kind of pull-off area. Grass is overgrown.
Where the
Where
old
they
highway,
sell,
where the old highway used to be.
farm equipment?
No,
By the cemetery?
Not all the way to Lehigh.
Yeah.
No.
Back this way.
It's on that, it's where, I think it's where the old highway used to be. Cause it kinda goes out, it's maybe a quarter to half mile long. I don't know who owns that, but it's more of just a roadway for now. We'd have to go in but again, and the other thing is that might be part of the railroad right away through there too. So, but yeah, I know what you're talking about there too. Yeah, like I said, we're constantly trying to find places, so. All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Good, thanks.
All right. Isaac.
Morning, Isaac.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm just here kind of like for a department update. There's a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about. First thing is I wanted to get permission. I think we have 6 removals and 4 trims, tree trimming jobs in the trailer park. A couple of those are the big pine trees back there that I'm not comfortable cutting ourselves with all the trailers around. And the trims are kind of same things, big limbs that are hanging over the trailers. So I'd like to get that taken care of before spring when everybody comes out and comes out to the lake to enjoy their trailers. So I was hoping to open a tree trimming bid up here within the next week or so.
Are the trees dead or?
They're dead, yes, yeah. And all of them that we're removing they're dead.
Okay. Look at your budget, see, I don't know what line item that'll be under your budget, but I look at it. the time to do it.
And nobody got no fireplaces out there that wants a dead tree, dead standing tree?
Not mine. That'd be the last thing you want.
The next thing is, and I've briefly spoke about this previously. This will now be my 3rd year here at the lake. We have that storage area just kind of south of the house there. What we do is we allow people over the summer, or actually over the winter, park their campers or boats or whatever. We charge $15 a month. It's not covered storage or anything. It's kind of park where there's availability. What I would like to do, we have problems with people parking there, coming and paying, and then when they're done, they just take their camper or their boat and they leave and never come and tell us. So we have all these names and information on file that technically is no longer there. So I've gone through and got inventory of what we have back there. What I would like to do is maybe close that down for 2 weeks, maybe a month, and I would actually like to go in and make slots, numbered slots, that we can keep track of better what is back there, who is paid up, what we have. Which brings me to the next thing is, since I've been there, there's 4 on my list that have not moved, have not paid anything. I've tried to contact the number that was on file when I started. It's no longer in service. I've sent letters, which just get sent back to me. According to the rules and regulations, it is technically 30 days unpaid. We're supposed to send out a letter. And then they have, I think according to what it says, is an extra 30 days to come and get it out of there or get paid up, whatever that may be. I can't get a hold of anybody. And according to Gerald and Adam, Gerald said that there's a couple of them back there that haven't moved in 8-9 years. And I would like to get that fixed, whether it's removed or whatever the case may be. And that might be a question for Brad.
We'd have to get some kind of lien on them.
As far as, yeah, what we can do to get that taken care of. Because I don't want them sitting back there. I mean, there's one that there's a tree growing up underneath, kind of off to the side of it, and I just like to get it more cleaned up and organized.
So can we repossess them and sell them on purple weight?
Yeah, but you gotta go through a process.
Yeah.
And talk to the sheriff, or?
Probably between Brad
Between Brad and the sheriff, we have to get a lien on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the time being, if I wanted to move it, I believe I'd move it.
Well, and that's kind of what I wondered, because there's a couple of those, and the majority of them that are back there right now, I have the appropriate information, and I've talked to a lot of people that have stuff back there saying that this is something that I was going to try to do this winter, is try to get this more organized. And they said, if we need to move it, just give us a call, we'll come out and move it, or tell you guys go ahead and pull it out, or whatever the case. But
You've got 2 back there, it's been 7 or 8 years. I believe I'd move them over
Yeah.
to your other pot, to your other beside your office shop over there, so they know that they're whose they are, and
Yeah.
that you can watch them
right.
and see what happens with them.
Yeah.
As long as you're not moving it down something down the road.
Right.
No, and that's it.
Just leave it out there.
A lot of it would be moving 5-6 feet,
Yeah.
just for the time being. It wouldn't be a lot, but like I said, and most of them back there, I'm not worried about. It's just that there were those few. There's 4 or 5 that are over a year, and I think. I don't know if people just set them back there as junk, or, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but I just can't get a hold
Outside, out
of.
of mind.
Yeah, I can't get a hold of the owners, and I was kind of just trying to figure out what would be the best way to move forward with those. Which I can talk. Is Brad coming in today?
Maybe.
We're not sure.
Okay. Let's see. We got done with the CFAP report for 2020. We just turned the second half of that in here, the end of December. The last thing I really have here is I've been approached by the fire department, and I've also talked to a couple of sheriff's officers over the last couple of years about this as well. On like the south side of the lake, kind of where that RC runway is, where there's the docks. It's just kind of gravel roadways and campgrounds and things like that. They've talked to us about possibly wanting us to try to, I don't know if you want to say name those roads or section off areas and have a name for certain campgrounds. Because what's happened is, you know, there's been a couple situations where the sheriff's been called out and they can't find where we're trying to tell them to go. You know, that whole side, we have a sign that's called the Flats, or big areas like that. But as far as all the little gravel roadways, like they've had a hard time finding where they're needing to go, and have talked to us about, and I don't know, and that I could get with them. They said possibly the roadways, just little areas, and we could do it either way. But that was something also that I was going to try to get taken care of here before the summer. But I didn't know if the commission had any input on that, or if that would be a question for them over there.
Over there, your 911 be,
Okay.
not Rob, but who's what's her name?
Linda.
Linda. Talk to Linda about it.
Okay.
And work with her. That would be your person to. She was around. I don't know if she was around when we did the 911, all of it, but she's been there since then a lot. Knows a lot.
Okay.
Something that they, and it's a good idea, because when you're, say, the southeast corner of the lake, well, that could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so.
And there's a lot of different roadways
Yeah.
that kind of go in there and come back out.
All the way from the dam to Lakeshore.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing if you can work on it and come up with something like
Okay.
some way that everybody can see it. I mean, when it comes up on 911, is what you'll have to get to it.
Okay. And then the last thing I had was I talked to Ben with the dock, but I don't know, that might be something to save for Brad.
Yeah.
And that was really all I had.
So, and I mean, as far as cleaning up behind what you're talking about, getting rows, I mean,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
good enough. I mean, nobody seemed to oppose it, so the directive seemed to be
I think it'd be
okay.
a good,
Yeah, as long as you're not
Yeah,
dragging RVs and stuff out on the road and boats.
Yeah. So,
You're just moving them on the lot.
so the commission's all in consensus, is okay, let him do what he needs to do.
make the parking better too, because some people just drop it,
Yeah.
don't try to be close or straight.
Or sometimes what's happened is they'll pull in real close to each other and we can't get a mower or a weed eater between there, then that stuff gets
Right.
5-6 feet high.
Those ones that have been there for years, we need to get some type of lien on them so we can sell it,
Well, and I don't think,
get rid of it.
yeah, they're gonna start or run or anything
Yeah.
like that. Just by looking at them, I can't imagine they would. And so that was kind of something that I did want to try to get taken care of.
We can get salvage titles or something.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works
Yeah.
with RVs and boats.
Salvage title.
Been
Works for
abandoned.
anything.
And that was it for me.
Very good.
Unless you guys
What's your
have
winter
any-
projects? What you got going for winter projects other than some of these trees?
Yeah, actually quite a bit. We've raised enough money from like the Bluegrass Festival and Chili Cook-Off. They've decided they wanted us to try to upgrade the restroom facilities, which they need. I know a couple of those panels in there, like in the shower houses, have holes in them from whatever, I don't know, that have just been filled with caulk. I mean, they work, but it's not ideal. The couple, well, in the women's restroom, one of the push buttons on the shower is bented up, so what happens is they'll push it and it'll run, but then it stays pushed in and they'll leave and that water's been running. So we've since closed that stall, but I think we want to go in there and get all new shower heads, buttons. A couple of the sinks were bad, so we wanted to replace those faucets. So that was something that we're going to get done. The other big thing is our picnic tables. There's quite a few picnic tables out there that over the past couple of years have rotten boards and things like that. And so we've actually got an inventory. I've been waiting for the new year. And so we got to go through, and I've already talked with Morgan out at the building center and a couple other places. We got to get all new lumber and we're gonna redo a lot of those picnic tables for the campgrounds. The other thing is the low water bridge last year, and I've been working with Bryce on this. He's been out a couple times to look at it, but I think because of all the flooding last year, if you go out there and look at it, there's multiple holes. I mean, where that water that has ran over the low water bridge has actually created washouts. And so I really want to get some concrete out there and just try to cover that up. You know, talking to Bryce about it, he said it's going to be a patch job because you're going to put it over there, but it doesn't have anything to really catch to, which I think is how they've done it in the past, looking at what's there. He said it'll probably put concrete on it, last another 4 or 5 years, and you're just going to have to do it again. But that is something else that I really want to get done as well. And then, of course, we have still have tree cleanup.
Those areas couldn't be cut out and then some type of reinforcement
See,
put in before you put concrete?
It might be able to. I don't know, and that's kind of what we talked about. Like he said, he doesn't know what's underneath there. If it's just rock and they did a concrete pretty much cover
I
up
guess you wouldn't know
or what
unless
it
you
is,
cut
yeah.
a big chunk out.
Right. And looking at the way it is, because where it's washed out, you have about 2 inches of concrete, but then underneath there, it looks like it's like almost riprap. Because what's happened is where that concrete's gone, actually there's rock that has since washed out from, I mean rock that's come out from there as well.
Is this right around the 2 tubes?
That run underneath the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of right up above the culvert there that run, or
That was
tubes.
replaced, that was dug down and replaced here. Been 6, Bud was still on Road and Bridge, so it's been 6 years or 8, something like that.
And I was gonna say, you can see there's a section where you're talking about where it looks like
Yeah.
they have recently
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
fresh concrete down.
Okay. Yeah. There's something else, I changed my mind real quick, like, what was I talking about? Go ahead, somebody else, if they got questions.
Yep, won't know until you fix it.
Kind of like remodeling.
Oh, I know what it was gonna put you on the spot, and you don't have to answer it, but if you do know, what year did we build that restroom area? Because it has not had any major area down to the showers, or to the siding, or to the paneling that's in there. And if anybody's been watching for the last 3 or 4 years, it's just continually going down due to use, and stuff like this. And so, you're not wrong in wanting to do something in there, because it is.
It needs it.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact date it was put in, but from what I do know is since it was put in, I don't know if there's been anything done to it since.
Well, little stuff, but nothing major. We painted
Okay.
it and things like that, but I've never, on the inside, we have not touched the wallboard and stuff like that, and so.
Okay.
It almost looks yellow when you walk in.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know
we-
whether a good degreaser, and really, I don't know what that wallboard will stand. That wallboard is a good hardboard
Yeah.
plastic, but yet there's a lot of water that goes over that in the shower area,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I know if you come in with a few new panels, it's gonna look a lot different than what the others does, so. So you take a look in there if you
Yeah.
guys are around the lake out there, so you know what I'm talking about. But I just wonder if it's time to do something in the shower area first to get that,
Me too.
before you put a new faucets and
Well,
stuff in.
And I just for my own knowledge, I had Fleming's come out and quote just to see what it would cost to replace all the paneling in there.
Oh, all of it?
Yeah, I did. And both sink fixtures on the men's and women's, and all the shower fixtures on the men and women's. And that's what I got a quote for, just to see, because I don't know what that costs anymore.
Right.
And it actually came in higher than we thought, but still within what we have. And so if it was something that we wanted to do to completely replace all the paneling in there, we could do it. We were talking to them, like they said, because there's a couple of sinks that, you have to like rotate the handles 3 times before the water comes in, which I don't know what's going on in there. And they said with a couple of that stuff, they'd have to get back behind the wall and actually see before they could really tell us if it would be an easy fix or if it needs to be replaced or whatever the case may be.
We gotta get behind the wall, it's a bad fix. That's where
Exactly.
the seats
Yeah.
are.
Yes. Yeah. And so it is something that needs to be done. It seems like every year we're having to get something in there repaired minorly, or like this year we had to close that shower down just because it kept running. And with all that stuff the way it is, we have that little storage room in there. You can see some from the storage room and you can see some from the bathroom, but there's a lot of it in the walls in between.
Okay, due to COVID last year, what was your rentals like for camping area? Is it stay good? Does it stay lower? I mean, higher? Did it?
So we just finished up the year on the revenue report, and we had sold more permits this year than we have since I've been out there.
Areas are
Recreational.
Yeah. And I was kind of worried about it back in like April, but it ended up being better than it has been.
Cool.
Overall, it ended up being a good year for us out there. And I mean, we were busy, really busy over the summer and even into the fall. But it ended up being good.
That's a good deal. Something good out of it.
Yeah.
But I think the commission understands what we're talking about. I think is
Okay.
know what we got, and if they want to take time to look at it before you do anything.
Okay, yeah, and the bathroom wasn't something that I planned on jumping on right away this year. This tree thing I've been wanting to get done just because every time it's windy, it kind of makes you nervous, especially with all those trailers around there. And then this picnic table thing is something that I really wanted to get done before the summer as well. So the bathroom is something that I think we're going to do. I just need to figure out exactly all that needs to be done to make it good.
Text all of us commissioners when you find out what year it was built.
Okay, yeah, I can do it.
You administrate the budget, you set the priorities.
Okay.
Yeah. What about the trees? I know you talk about the trailer area, but what about around the lake in general?
So last spring, I think it was last spring, we had a big one done. Aesthetic Tree Service came out. We opened up for bids, they came out. And as far as like the lake area as a whole, I think with everything that they took down, we're good for what we cannot get. There's still things there that have fallen and that need to be come down that don't have anything around it. And normally if the fall area is not something that we have to worry about it hitting anything, we can normally take care of it unless it's huge.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. And that is something that we always work on throughout the winter, whenever we don't have a project going on or whatever, it's trees. This time of year, and there still is stuff out there that we can do. I think everything outside of the trailer park that we have on our list, we can handle. And so that trailer area with the houses, and that happens like back in the spring when we did it, there was a chance to fall on the road, that kind of stuff. I don't like messing with it, just because you just never know.
Asking more about the thinning out on down on the lake shore. There's just seems to be a lot of
Lots of cedar trees.
And there are.
They just need to be mowed out. I mean, you can't even walk down there to fish.
Right.
You can't hardly even see the lake unless you drive to a certain spot.
Yeah, and there are definitely places like that.
And and I'm not saying it's everywhere. I'm just
Right.
saying
Yeah.
there's some places that need to be addressed and cleaned up.
Be careful about them back road landowners out there. They're pretty tough people out there. Oh, excuse me, Roger.
They set any new brush piles or anything this year in the lake?
Have they said? There's been a few private dock owners that have set brush piles off of their dock. We have, actually the biologist brought us out 4 or 5 of the artificial, they're the plastic PVC.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of places where we had an evergreen cleanup, and we planned on sinking it there by the dock to do fish habitat but we haven't because we've just kind of been waiting.
Sure.
So we have not done anything this winter. I know that there's been 3 or 4 homeowners that have docks that have called me and asked permission to sink some off of their docks, which I know that they have. But as far as we go, we have some, but we haven't put it in.
Probably wise to wait.
Yeah.
And is it still, how do you don't have a boat yet, do you?
I do.
Do you?
We have the boat. I think when Steve was out there, from my understanding, from what I've talked to, the state gave that boat to
Okay.
Steve.
Okay.
It's like a 18-foot flat bottom, but it's got a 40-horse Mercury on it. I mean, it's a
Okay.
good boat. I haven't had
Okay.
any problems with it at
Oh,
all.
okay, I just couldn't remember what you had. Okay.
Can't chase anybody down, but you.
Exactly.
It's good weight for it.
it's good for work. It's a big flat bottom, but yeah, you're not chasing anybody down.
Yeah, I guess I'm content.
Well, we've done
Thanks.
something, we've made the chairman content. We're doing
That's a
good.
new term.
Yeah.
You want Isaac to hang around for Brad, or, I mean, I know part of the story.
We don't know if he's coming or
I
not.
don't know if he's coming.
I really don't think he's coming today.
Okay.
I tried texting to see if that's still the case, and I haven't gotten a response, so.
Okay.
Okay, so, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Content.
Yeah, you can.
All right, so we're gonna skip Josh because he is unavailable.
On the road now.
Yeah. So we'll go on to our added items. The payroll sheet.
Pardon me, is there not going to be a discussion regarding the transportation today?
Would you like to have
Yes,
one?
you can't come at all, Josh.
As
No.
far as I know, no.
If Roger has something to say, I've
Yeah.
got time to listen.
Yeah, I mean, if it pertains to that piece, then sure.
Yes, I'm here on behalf of some of
Right.
the business owners in the city.
You're gonna have to go sit in the mic so the virtual world can hear you.
Thank you. I just wanted to share with you some operational concerns that have come up with the new operations, okay? From looking forward to next year, when we have holidays that impact recycling, I've had multiple requests that if you have to close on Monday, would it be possible for you to make recycling available? I'm sorry, if you close on Friday, make it available for the following Monday so citizens do not have to forego recycling? Would it bother any of you if I pull this back?
No.
I apologize.
That's all right, no.
The recycling, because of the way the holidays fall, this year created, during the time period with the largest volume of paper recycling, no availability for 3 weeks. Because we had the Christmas and then we have New Year's, and then it's, this coming Friday is the first opportunity. So I was asked to share, would there possibly be a consideration moving forward when we have to move that day to still have another day and communicate with your haulers as well as the general public when recycling? Okay, still a passionate topic.
Yeah.
The other concern from the business community, I've been approached by 5 local business owners indicating they'd like a refund on their dumpsters because they're being used as public dumpsters when people can't, they come to town, can't drop off, there's no longer a dumpster in front of the transfer station. So they're going to the most convenient location. The city dumpsters, which we have at our shop and then at the city building, now after every weekend, they are overflowing. We have county residents that are expecting accessibility. They can't locate it, so they're just depositing wherever. Any consideration to some after hours, and then if, for next year, looking forward to, or this year, any holidays that come up that would impact recycling, if there could be a little flexibility, I think it'd be a better service
You know, Roger, I'd like to see, you know, you, Florence, and Hillsborough are 3 trash trucks, 3 trash routes. And I don't know whether Florence has any recycling areas that they pick up or not. I don't know that. But I think this is a concern, and if we can work out a schedule in January and February, is a lot better than waiting until November or December. So I think Josh needs to be aware of this and see if he can do something, because we did open up for Hillsborough on a truck. I don't know what days your truck runs. As it runs on the
On Wednesday, doesn't it, for recycling?
We pick up recycling on Wednesday, hold it until Friday morning to be dumped at the transfer station at the request of Josh.
Okay. Something can be worked out, right? They're trying to do.
That's Hillsborough, does this on Thursday,
Yeah, Hillsborough,
Friday.
Thursday and Friday. Just, yeah, it's multiple routes, so.
But there's gotta be a way.
We need to get Hillsborough to move to Wednesday and Thursday, and do ours on Thursday.
Yeah, you can't just move routes. I mean, that's, Roger knows what that is, but
Sounds good.
picking,
Messing with trash, it's as bad as messing with somebody.
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, and so there's gotta be something we can do. I mean,
Well, thank you for any consideration.
oh, no, I mean,
I'm sure
it's
you were
something we
aware
can
of
do.
it.
I'd just like to see Josh grab a hold of this and sort of work up a plan for him. He knows what he's doing.
You know, until the time comes where we can run a 24-hour transfer station, we're gonna have people dumping stuff in dumpsters around the cities.
And it
They
never-
throw it out on the, I don't know how you fix the general public from not doing that.
We've had stuff in our dumpster for the last 20 years. You know, it won't be consistent, but of course, we're right in the alleys, which is handy.
Yeah,
I mean, you post hours, and it's not long enough. We extended them right away, not long enough.
And next year, we're gonna have the same problem.
This coming
You
year
know-
will be better.
Not really.
No,
So they closed on Fridays.
Thanksgiving's on Wednesday coming.
Well, Thanksgiving's always on Thursday.
Oh, I mean on Thursday, I'm sorry.
We're worried about Christmas
Yeah,
and New
Christmas.
Year's.
I was thinking 24th. The 24th and 25th are a Friday and a Saturday.
So we'll close Friday.
Right. So then New Year's is the only day that we are closed the following, which is Saturday.
Yeah.
No, I apologize, but your holiday schedule is like ours. You'll have employees off. If it falls on a Saturday holiday, they're gonna be off on Friday in advance.
Good. Are we?
So it ends up.
Yeah, it is,
It's
yeah.
just something to look forward, and then the after-hours situation, you know, the county still owns 10 of the large, former recycling dumpsters. That availability for prolonged periods where those were just on the property somewhere.
No, sorry.
Yeah, which we're staying open later.
I'm saying it's available, and I understand what you're saying, Roger, but I'm pretty dead set on not doing that. I mean, letting it out there and letting the public dump anything in there, because then we've got tires, we've got everything.
And then it ruins.
I
our batch.
appreciate that. It simply shifted it to me and the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I understand that too.
I have to do the disposal of oil and everything else. I wanted to share those concerns. Thank you.
It is a concern.
There is a comment in the chat bubble that, from Lou Thurston, says that Hillsborough has eliminated Friday recycling routes for 2021.
Picking up on Thursday.
But they may, like on a 2-day weekend, they may still need to be open one day. I think that's what it was about this year. We had 2 days shut down, and they was recycling.
Yeah.
And Josh opened up so they could dump their trucks.
Yeah, it was to fit it where it could. It was only a half day, so I mean.
Yeah. I don't know how long he opened up for them, but I would think they could work out a time somewhere, shoot for a time.
I think this last time when Josh opened up for them, it was basically so they could pull in and dump on the floor.
Right, and that's what I would expect. I wouldn't expect to come out and put it in a truck and everything. I mean, we've got the availability now that I think it could be done that way. Provided
it's-
Wednesday evening is clean when it goes, when the truck's not in there.
I still think. Just trying to think Friday is, that's, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what Josh thinks.
Yeah.
Since you're on that, I might, I know you guys have all been in the transfer station more than I have, but I spent some time over there the other day because I'm still concerned about that lip and then that plate that's on the other side that's way too high. I think those two things are gonna have to be addressed in the next year. I mean, we got a long-term project there, and well, I watched, and what's tearing up that edge is not the bucket itself; it's that thumb.
Yes.
That's on
Thumb.
there.
Yep.
So there needs to be some kind of protection along that side.
Well, that space that we were concerned about at the end of where the truck pulls in,
Right.
and it covers up where the cabin chassis is. That area up there, I don't know, I'm just kicking out an idea. But if there was a permanent piece of equipment stuck in that area that lifted up, went over the top, and just worked it, was it capable of working back and forth down the trailer than side to side?
Like an overhead crane.
Kind of. Or something that, you could man up and sit in up there above the cabin chassis and work it back and forth. You wouldn't be hitting the sides.
Kind of what we had before with the Packer.
Yeah. I don't know about a Packer, but
Well,
it's something similar to it's more friendly that you can grab still,
yeah.
but you can't turn it too far to damage the trailers. Or hit the concrete.
I mean, the wear and tear on those trailers, I'm surprised it lasts as long as they do. I mean, that stuff going in there, and you think the trash is mostly just light. Man, he puts one dump over there and the whole thing just shakes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of weight in some of that.
Leanne just texted me and said she has to leave, so she's gonna be leaving the meeting.
All right, well, is she still on there?
Is she coming off the meeting?
She's cut out.
Yeah, she had to leave.
Well, I'd like to address her if she gets back on.
I don't believe she'll be back on. She had to go to an appointment. But if you just address it onto the.
I'll say something
onto
under
the record,
commission
yeah.
comments.
Okay.
Didn't you see the round packers somewhere?
The what?
Did you see the round packers? I don't know can't remember what McPherson had at that time, whether they.
McPherson had about the same thing we did, didn't we?
Yeah, but on the backhoes, a lot of them, Osage City and Emporia, they have just a round plate. And it's just a 24-inch round plate.
It fits on
the end of the stinger of the backhoe.
Right.
No thumb, no nothing else. And it's just a round plate, solid, pretty heavy, but they use that to push down with.
I think that would be a much better idea.
They don't have nothing sharp sticking out, and as you said, anything sharp sticking out.
And I can't really blame the operator, because it's just, you're moving stuff around.
Yeah.
But that thing is gonna, I can't believe the wear on it already.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hate to say that, I know the thumb is causing issues, but the thumb, just operating, you operate equipment, sometimes you pile a little too much over here, and you pile a little too much over there, and you gotta move it, and you gotta have that thumb to move that.
No, you don't. Most of these guys don't have that.
Really?
I don't know that any of them has a thumb on them, sitting there, packing in trucks.
Yeah.
Now, in other places, I see that, but just.
The loader should have.
Just dragging, when you push that load over, especially if they take it a little slower than what they're used to, because they're still used to whamming and going. But if you take it a little slower, you get set up in there, you can push that load with just the arm. not a lot, but you gotta work, so you gotta work it some in order to spread your, just what you're talking about, spread it, because you got the middle bar in the middle of the truck.
Yeah.
You gotta try working it back that way under the truck
And
sometimes.
some trash, you know,
Oh, some
stands
trash.
up.
Oh.
And some lays down,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. It's
Well,
nice to have
I
it.
just say we need to have some kind of solution, because we're causing quite a bit of damage on that edge, and,
Yeah.
you know, the only other thing is be to cut a steel plate into that, or, I don't know, maybe some of these plastics they have nowadays that are about that thick would be as good as a steel.
Kevlar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take my thought process was going away from trying to go over the edge
And stay with the center.
and stay with working
Yeah.
it, that way you're not. But then,
Set a piece of equipment
It-
over top of the cab of the truck.
Yeah.
So that you're looking,
If we
but
would
if
put
you
a
come back too far, then you
overhead
destroy your
crane,
main piece of equipment.
overhead crane in that, you're probably looking at
Oh, yeah,
$250,000 at least.
yeah.
Much as we spent on the repairs for that old one we had.
That was, yeah, I mean, of course, it walked back and forth and then walked this way. It was very handy to get in and out of the way. And then you're gonna have to have something if you have an overhead crane, unless you hold it right up over the air.
I don't believe any of the other transfer stations we went to had an overhead crane.
I've never seen one nowhere.
I was thinking more along the lines of a non-movable excavator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that's.
with a long reach.
Yeah, with a long
Stationary.
reach. That could just.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
The longer the reach, then the chances are that you don't have the pushing power.
Yeah.
But there could be something out there.
No, yeah, that's what I was seeing in my head, I guess.
But, you
Anyway.
know, I really believe if Josh sees it as a problem, he needs to come to us and say, we need to fix this earlier than later.
I think we're on the right track. And we paid the overpayments now, that last deal for everything's done with
Transfer station.
Yes.
engineer and everything. It's done with transfer station. We're done.
Well, it's hard to tell with the engineer bills.
Okay.
So we paid the contract amount for the
Okay.
contractor, but you never extended the engineers the amount that you were gonna pay him, and so he's just been billing you above beyond his contracts.
I won't vote to approve any more payments to the engineer.
But anyway, I believe that, I mean, we just got one, so we paid 2 payments at the end of December to the engineer, so that should be the last one.
What I'm getting at is I want to be free and clear and get them out of the way, and then anything we do from here now is what we make a new agreement to and decide to do something.
Right.
And then I talked to him about, Bryce was in and told us we probably needed some kind of bird netting under
Yeah.
there. We're gonna have some problems, but Josh said they noticed right away that the birds kind of help them out, especially when there's bugs around. He said you can't imagine how many mosquitoes are around a transfer station. Well, you think about it.
Which
Where
way?
would they want to go other than that? And he said, really, we kind of need the birds to help us out on that end of it. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
'Cause I asked him about that.
Balance of nature.
Well, I guess if you get a little shirt decoration every once in a while.
Yeah. Start turning spiders loose in the rafters.
That's something.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna go on to the part of the meeting that we added on the pay rate. What was it, last week or the week before, we were talking about 1.5% coming around the 88,000 mark.
88,579.
Just looking at this and breakdown, Tina did a good job laying this all out. Looking to me like if it was somewhere around 34 cents, it comes back to about that 88,000 mark. Pretty close.
And that's with part-time included on the hourly, so. There are a lot of variables in there.
Right.
So.
Right. But
You You guys follow the national news where there's 20 states on
Yeah.
raising the minimum wage?
Minimum wage was $15.
$15 an hour, and Kansas is only about 8, 7 or 8.
We're 7:35, I believe.
Getting ready to go to 8 though, I thought.
Yeah, there's a big push for that.
Can you imagine?
It's gonna kill some small businesses.
Yeah, yeah. We just had a 8 at Applebee's Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, 2:30. And waiter there was a little perturbed. He was leaving Applebee's, but he was real excited about his new job was going to go to $10 an hour. And so, I mean, there's younger.
But as a waiter,
Yeah, I don't know whether he gets to keep the tips.
Tips.
You know, I don't know what their perspective is.
as a waiter, you depend on the tips.
Yeah, yeah. But going to a $10 an hour job, you're not gonna get, unless you're gonna get tips there. I don't know whether, he never did say, but he was pretty hepped up about going to a $10 an hour job. Yeah. It was interesting to hear him talk a little bit. When I asked him.
It's kind of the real world. I mean,
Yeah.
That's what 50% of the people in Marion County are working at.
Could some of the businesses survive if it was
No.
15? I wouldn't
I mean,
think
we
it'd be
would-
feasible.
That's the thing, hard about our production shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think hard about anybody that's semi-skilled, that makes $15 or $20 an hour. All of a sudden, the 15 comes into play. Now what are they gonna want? They're gonna want 25 or 30.
What's gonna be sad is this next generation coming up has no skills. So,
Oh,
well,
you said
they
that.
don't. They'll all be at this $10 an hour level,
Yeah,
but they want $20 an hour.
there's some that are pretty skilled.
Very few.
I see some of them in the robotics tech. They're
Well,
pretty
yeah, I
skilled.
mean, there is a certain percent. 20 years
Tina,
is scary.
This number you have here at the left, that 4,376,128, that's our yearly payroll for last year.
No, that's the way the pay plan is structured currently, what our annual wages potentially could be based on
Okay.
estimated number of hours for certain departments. Because we have a lot of departments that are actually, everybody makes salary, nobody makes cash overtime. We're not paid by the hour, so their hourly rate fluctuates from month to month because we pay them the same amount. Then we have some departments that are paid by the hour and would have overtime, or they've got the number of hours is calculated differently to, for like sheriff or
Sheriff Department.
EMS, those. I did a little bit higher number of hours because they're working more hours. So, but it wasn't a simple thing to try to figure out. And so what I did is I just took our most recently updated pay schedule, pay plan that should have everybody fairly updated on it, and figured if I estimate their hourly rate, what a 10-cent increase would be. And but that number on the left is what it would be currently.
We're not, I just look at each month's payroll, it's sometimes close to $500,000.
That includes benefits,
Yeah, see, there's
not just
one.
wages.
Okay.
That's a total including benefits.
Health
And-
insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 21% increase we got last year. Oh, we were going.
Well, but the employees took,
Yeah.
a portion of that,
Yeah.
so. Anyway, yeah, your grand total your payroll numbers, that includes the county's portion of all the taxes and social security and county.
The reason why I say
benefits.
$500,000, because just take that times 12, and you can come up to $6 million.
Right.
And,
Right.
yeah, but
But that's not
Well,
reflected here. The
Whatever we
benefits.
do, I think we should consider it a temporary step until we can get a new pay plan put in effect. And that's something that we need to start addressing this month, next month. This thing's been in limbo now since
What is it,
The
3 years? Because,
almost first year I was on the commission.
yeah, and I would say probably some of it's a bit outdated by now.
Yeah,
Some of
well,
it,
it
yeah.
probably is, but it is still, it's still a reference, put it that way. But, you know, the convention's always been, we haven't addressed the lowest paid.
And this would,
Huh?
and this would.
Yeah.
So, just to give you a timeline, if you do decide that you wanna make a change on the wages effective for January, we would need, that decision by next week, so
Right.
that we could get all
Yeah.
the changes in.
Right.
So, next week would probably be the cutoff for that.
I would be more in favor of the 34 cents an hour than I would be the 1.5%. Just put that out there.
Well, he just mentioned something else, that, you know, this is a flat start here before we get to the pay scale. And I like that, and then when we get to the pay scale, things will probably change again with some jobs.
But some of the lower rate people would be stepped up, maybe closer into that bracket in that pay plan,
I don't know. if
rather
that's-
than having to do these huge jumps.
I'm good from either 30 or 34 cents. I'd agree with either one of those to start with until we get into a pay plan.
I would like to see it on the agenda for next week, so we have some input for our incoming commissioner. Since he does have the information.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, he didn't get that, cause I didn't have it in the packet.
Yeah.
If that suits, unless you want to take action today.
Put it on the agenda, and that way everybody can think about it. To start.
I don't know.
I move that we put this on the agenda for next week
Second.
and make a decision next week.
Everybody all right with that? In favor, aye? Since he did make a motion?
Well,
And I said,
Dave,
Yeah.
handle it, so that's okay, either way.
You said aye?
Aye.
4-0.
I got a confirmation from Brad that he does have court all morning today, so he is not available.
Okay.
And I received, a document for the chair, requesting the chairman's signature. This is just basically saying the amount of tax dollars that's in the health department budget for 2021.
you looked at it.
I looked at it, it's a little bit confusing to me because they're counting, as the prior year support, they're also counting delinquent and all the, like, motor vehicle taxes and all of that. And I thought in the past we had always filled that form out with just the ad valorem tax.
Everybody see that first.
So I'm gonna go back and double check previous year's submissions, but I did add up what we budgeted, and we did budget at least that amount or more for 2021. So that's really what they're trying to get to, is whether we have at least met the same obligation for next year. So I think it's just a matter of how the forms have, I think they've changed how the forms have been filled out over the years, and I want to.
What does it say? The line says health official.
Right, and because you're the chairman of the commission, you're the board of public health. That's,
Okay. Just making sure.
Deidre is asking for yours.
Yeah.
Right, has to do with some of your grants and stuff in this too.
Right.
That's, if you was to cut a grant out, cut some of your child care out, that would cut your grants out. And, it would change some.
And if the county reduces the amount of taxation that we have there in that funds, then they reduce their grants also.
Yep. Anybody see any problem with this?
I will review, make sure that this is the appropriate number to include there, and if it's not, I'll bring you a corrected one next week.
Okay. Somebody else can sign it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So, we don't have an exec, because
I
Brad will be.
think, I think all will defer and rescind my motion to do that until county council's present.
Just put it on next week's agenda, so that way.
Yes, we could go ahead and, do we need a motion to do that?
No, because you didn't take action by motion or vote to
Right.
change this or to add it. You just did it by consensus.
Yes, it keeps us in the room and add it to next week. Okay. All right, brings us to our second part of public comments, if there is any. I think everybody can unmute their mics, right, if they need to?
Yes.
Okay. Not seeing any mics unmuted. Not seeing anything in the chat bubble. So I'll go ahead and close the public comments and go on to commission comments.
Got a couple things.
Okay.
First of all, report from our judicial appointee, Darrell Enos. They have appointed a new judge for the district court. It's a lady. She will be, I believe she'll be starting by end of the month. Because I think they have a retirement coming up for a gentleman that's retiring, or maybe they already had it. No, I think it's coming up.
He's retiring, that they are postponing his reception.
Okay. He was very impressed with the people that they had that they interviewed, and this individual seems to be a very fundamental constitutionalist, which, for me, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
My other comment, and I don't know if Diane's on there.
No, she had to leave.
Okay, my comment is that I want to thank Diane for her service this term to Marion County. Diane and I didn't always see eye to eye on everything, but I appreciate her passion and commitment to the county, and want to wish her the best going forward.
Any other commissioner comments?
I would just second that. I was only with her for a couple of years, but had lots of good comments, and they just all behave.
Well, I would just say that, you know, she set out to run for a goal, and she did, made a lot of extra efforts on whatever she tackled. And it does take that. You just can't set up here without your extra work and extra things that you do behind the scenes to come prepared for a meeting. And so it's nice to see people that, once they get signed up here, that they get involved. We've had some that's sat back and jumped on both sides of fences, but Diane didn't do that. She stuck to her guns pretty well. So no matter whether you sided with her or sided against her, you know, she had a side. So that's a good thing. And I hope that next person over there, you know, fills them shoes too. I don't know. We'll see. Behind me, if they're
You said
watching.
you're close.
Well, I was gonna go on with the, you're done, Randy. I was just gonna echo a lot of what's said. I appreciate her taking 4 years and stepping up. You know, the race that was just now, there was only 3 contenders. It's not like we had 20 people fighting for that job. So I mean, it's, I would like to thank her and appreciate her that she was willing to stand up and serve the best of her ability. And asked that we, as a commission, would give her this plaque. It basically says an appreciation for 4 years of dedicated service to Marion County. District 2 Commissioner Diane Novak. I don't think anybody want to see it. Pass it around. I was really hoping to at least give that to her today, but things come up. Thank Tina for making that happen. So, that said, I guess I'm gonna say, welcome to our new commission next week. So, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Gonna be here at 8:30.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, next Monday at 8:30 is when we'll have the swearing in. I don't think it'll be in the courtroom because they have, unless their jury trial gets canceled.
Yeah,
It'll
been
be
doing
in-
it right down here in the foyer.
Yeah, so that's.
I guess I'm the only one that doesn't affect.
You can come later.
I'll bring the rolls.
Yeah, yes, thank
Still
you.
gotta take the group.